All right, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. You all know what that means. It's another episode of Talking Nerdy. Joe, I have just one question. Are you ready?
I guess I'm ready.
All right. So, as always, I'm Scott, my longtime BFF Joe with us here this evening. For those of you that are watching, thank you so much for tuning in on another Tuesday night. If you're new to the pod, thank you for joining us. If you're watching after the fact, what took you so long? Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button so you know when we go live, when we start doing these stupid things that we do on Tuesday nights. So Joseph, what's happening?
Not a whole lot. Just
Quiet in your world?
Well, my dad got his surgery Friday coming up, so kind of consumed by that, thinking about that a lot. Other than that, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, look, we're all thinking about Dad. You know, we're all thinking about Dad right now. So
thanks.
He's going to be all right.
Yeah.
DC, what's up? Thanks for checking in. Look, busy times around here at the Mitchell compound. Started a new job yesterday.
Congrats.
Director of HR for a local casino here in Maryland.
Oh,
not giving away the name for obvious reasons, but loving the job. 2 days in, a lot of fun. I was just telling you about some of the perks, some of the peeps, and some of the fun stuff I'm getting to see already. Definitely great being back in the entertainment industry in HR. It's giving me a lot more time to do some of the things that I love, like, podcasting and conventions and things like that. So it's going to be really great for lifestyle stuff. So I guess getting right into it, look, first thing off the bat is, let's talk about Raw 30 last night.
Yeah, it was a good show, wasn't it?
Oh, man, I got to tell you, and you and I were texting during the show, as we often do. And I got to tell you, it was one of the better shows that WWE has done in weeks.
Definitely. Maybe years.
Well, look, they said it was the highest rated episode in 3 years.
Yeah, I can see
that. Which makes complete sense. I mean, we're not going to rehash the whole show, but, look, highlights for me, it took place in Philly, which, look, is in our backyard. We really, really talked hard about going. Part of me wishes we did. Part of me is really glad we didn't.
Same here.
With the new job and with everything you got going on at home. But it was really nice to just watch it at home and still kind of get almost the same experience, just without, the weed smell at the Fargo Center. But, look, highlights for me is, look, DX was hysterical last night. It was really good. That bit with Imperium was really funny.
Yeah. Some good matches last night, too.
Really good matches. The Seth Rollins and Street Profits against Imperium was really good. They brought Jerry out for commentary, which I thought was a nice touch. Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley, even though that ended it really controversially.
Hopefully that's the last time for those two, though.
I hope so. They got to move him on. Although, look, the rumor is that Cena and Austin Theory are going to set something up for WrestleMania.
And that would be okay. That would be another passing of the torch, like my favorite segment from last night when The Undertaker whispered in Bray Wyatt's ear, pretty much telling him, from what I read the lip, I know the last word was forever. So it almost made me think, like, keep this gimmick going forever. It kind of passed the torch to him with the evil side. So that was my favorite part from last night, hands down.
Look, favorite part for me last night, aside from DX, was the trial of Sammy Uso.
That was funny too.
That was fantastic.
Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, so I have to go with that first.
Of course. I really thought that opening segment was fantastic.
Everything Sammy does and everything the bloodline does is really good. It didn't surprise me. It's just
Funny.
funny as
I
shit.
mean,
I do wish they would have brought the elders out like they originally planned, but
yeah, I don't know why they
I think
changed that.
something else would happen.
I don't know if it was just they thought that this was a better direction. And candidly, look, I don't know what they had planned for the acknowledgement ceremony, but this was really damn good.
Yeah, it was. I was impressed on what they did last night from start to finish. I don't know if I guess the only part I really didn't care for was the poker table thing, but that was a good way of getting a lot of people in on the show without really wasting too much time with it. And I
Yeah.
also like the fact that they didn't. Everybody they brought back last night was pretty much for a reason, and it wasn't for very long. So it's not like they took away from the current wrestlers, superstars, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
It was just like subtly done where it was fun and not like it used to be where they would totally take over and it would be a full gimmick show. We still
Yeah.
had a little bit of that, but it wasn't totally taken over by them. So that was good too.
No, and I think it was done in a respectful way. And,
Yeah.
and to T3 point, he's hearing that they didn't do it last night because The Rock couldn't be a part of it, which makes complete sense. Because
Yeah. I think
look,
see, I'm just wondering if since all the internet geeks like us were saying, "Oh, the Rock's coming back," because they announced the family coming. I wonder if they just threw a little curveball for now to see, if they could slide it in and make it more exciting later. I don't know. Because if you think about it, The Rock said he wasn't in shape to wrestle, but he was kind of known they were planning this for 2 years. So how can you not be in shape for a match when you knew about this and been talking about this for 2 years? So I think
look,
it's a curveball. I think. I hope.
well, look, at the same time, he's been doing press for Black Adam. He's been working on the XFL. So they might have been doing this for 2 years, but he's had a very busy 9 months.
Yeah.
So, look, there are a lot of things that could change. I
Cool.
also agree. It was very funny to lead off with Hogan's mic not working because the Philly crowd did not let him live that down for a minute. And then, of course, he had to get him back with the cheap pop talking about the Eagles. Yeah, you see, he does work out every day, but
that's what I'm saying.
Being in ring shape, taking bumps.
Yeah, it's a little different working out and being in a 30-minute match. It takes a hell of a lot out of you, from what they tell me anyway.
As I said, like you would know.
I could take
you get when you're walking from your chair to the fridge, and your fridge is in that room.
I'll put you in the figure 4 leg lock really quick. You'll be tapping out, pally.
Yeah, you wish. Wish. So all of this is going to lead us into the Royal Rumble this weekend.
Yeah.
Details to follow for the watch along this Saturday with Joe and I, with some special guests, I think.
Well, Dre's will be there. It's on his channel.
Yeah, we'll be on Dre's channel. Yes. We will be at Joe's house in the man cave.
On Creekside Peak.
Yeah. So, it'll be kind of a relaxed, just us reacting to what's going on, telling some stories. The last one that we did was really funny. We did some top 5 lists. We talked about our favorite angles. We talked about 80s wrestling for a little bit. We didn't do a lot of, we won't do a lot of play-by-play. We'll talk about some of the surprises that go on. So it'll be cool. It was a lot of fun the last time we did it. I think it'll be a lot of fun this time. So
I love the Royal Rumble. I love the concept. I always have. I'm hoping Jay White comes back. That might be one of the surprises we see, but we'll see.
Yeah, look, I mean, the internet has been eerily quiet in the last week, 10 days about surprises. So I think they're playing a lot of these things really close to the vest. But look, candidly, WWE's got a lot of momentum after last night. I think Friday's show is probably going to be a little flat because it's the lead-in to the big show. So we'll see what this weekend brings. But it definitely leaves a lot to be very interested in. So Joe, I got to tell you, Um, I went to the movies recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I went and saw that movie Megan.
Oh, did you see it? How was
Yes, dude. I got to tell you, it was creepy as shit. It was campy, but it was
it? Mhm.
really good.
Yeah, you can rent it now on TV, so I may do that.
Yeah,
Uh,
look, it's definitely worth a watch. What's really what prompted me to do it was the fact that the little girl that plays Megan is going to be at Monster Mania convention in March in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Joe and I will probably be in attendance because they just announced today that the Undertaker is coming for the Friday portion of the show. So more than likely, um, this dumbass and I will be there.
More than
But
likely, I'll just throw away $200 on the Undertaker now.
you're gonna dry hump his leg. Um,
Yeah, who cares? At least it's
yeah,
something.
well, look, you're still you can share a prison cell with Gary Busey from the last time he was there. Um,
There you go.
so so that kind of prompted me to watch it, right? So not giving anything away, but the story is about a woman that works in the toy industry that creates like this AI robot for her daughter as protection. The mom, single parent, that kind of thing. And the AI takes their job a little too seriously and goes a little haywire. Um, and let me tell you, the movements, it's a real person in the doll suit. It's not AI. It's not any of that. It's not computer generated. It's a real person. It's a little girl who's apparently some dancer and gymnast. Dude, she was amazing. Her movements in there, like her head tilts, it was like old school Kane, like with the side tilt.
Hmm.
But look, the movie, it's PG-13, so it's not real gory. It's not real. There's not a lot of adult content, but it was just campy and creepy enough for me to love it. They already announced they're doing a sequel, Megan 2.0. So definitely look, if you're laid up with dad this weekend
Yeah.
and you need something to do, or if you want to download a movie while he's in surgery, do it. Look,
Yeah.
it's 90 minutes of just mindless. I can't. What am I watching?
Yeah. I'll give it a shot.
Definitely. Yeah, no, definitely a must watch. Um, something I think a lot of people are going to be totally into. Um, by the way, over the weekend, not over the weekend, I guess last week, I finally got around to finishing Andor on Disney Plus.
I have not finished it yet.
Dude, unbelievable show.
Yeah, I kind of didn't like it at first, and then as it went on, it was better. But I haven't quite finished it. I got like maybe 3 left. Speaking of,
I Go
have
ahead.
you seen The Last of Us yet?
No,
You watched
we were
that?
talking about this last night. I haven't had time to watch it yet.
It's really good. I've watched the first 2. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's on my list. I like them to get like 3 or 4 episodes in so that I can binge them and not like be stuck like, oh, I gotta wait another fucking week. I did that with Willow, which by the way, Willow, if you haven't seen it on Disney Plus, still holds up to this day. It still totally holds up. A lot of love, a lot of callbacks to the original. Warwick Davis is a national treasure. So definitely, if you haven't watched that one yet, do it. No, by the way, another piece of nostalgia. I'm going backwards. I started That 90s Show over the weekend on Friday night. I'm home alone. Huh?
Have you never watched it?
That 90s Show? It just came out.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of something else. Okay,
Yeah, no. This
that's
is the sequel to That 70s Show.
I got you. Yeah, I had a brain fart. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not watching it.
old age.
Mhm.
So, I gotta be honest. I'm like 5 episodes in. I haven't finished it, but the first 5 episodes are great. I found myself laughing out loud quite a bit. Um, it's a nice mix. It really focuses more on the newer kids, which one of the main kids is Eric and Donna's daughter, and the kids that she's friends with, that she makes friends with, staying with her grandparents for the summer. dude, watch it. It's like almost all of the original cast is back except for Danny Masterson, of course, because he's a scumbag piece of shit. Um, and nobody wants to have anything to do with him in Hollywood. So,
I thought, wasn't he acquitted or something though?
no, it was a mistrial.
Oh, okay.
It was a mistrial, and they are retrying him.
Well,
Look, just because it was a mistrial didn't mean he didn't do some of this shit.
yeah.
Look, OJ was acquitted. I'm convinced he did it.
Yeah. I guess I still believe in innocent until proven.
Well, look, I think the fact that I've watched so much true crime over the years, I'm jaded.
Hmm.
But look, I think some of the things that those girls said in that trial, and I don't want to turn this into a true crime pod because we could go on for hours, but I think some of the things that those girls said in that trial is way too specific to be making it up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like, as an HR person, I always look at it first of going, how likely is this story? And they were very believable to me. I mean, granted, I'm not an attorney, but but I digress. So definitely Netflix watch, enjoyed it. Thank you, T3. He agrees that he did it. I'm not sure if he means OJ or Danny Masterson. I will take either at this point. So, look, we've ripped through a lot of topics really quickly today. So I think the other thing to talk about is like, look, man, like Monster Mania. Oh, both. Yeah, you're right. Monster Mania, one of the conventions that Joe and I frequent is Monster Mania, local convention here in the New Jersey, Maryland area. They do 4 shows a year. First show's coming up in March. They have been killing it with announcements. Like every day for the last 3 weeks, they've announced guests. And we've gotten some really good ones like Rose McGowan and Holly Marie Combs. And we were talking about earlier, The Undertaker, damn near the whole cast of Sons of Anarchy. I'm going to spend a lot of money that weekend. Cast Terrifier. I'm looking forward to finally adding the little pale girl to the autograph wall behind me.
Where are the autographs?
Well, they're not all up here. Some of them are on the wall over here.
I must have a different angle. I don't see them this.
I do. It's a new setup.
Yeah.
From my old office. I had a riser for my laptop in my old office. So I actually brought it home, and now I'm using it for this to elevate my laptop so I don't have to look down. It makes my neck hurt. So
we don't want that.
No, you're not wrong. So this week, we're 2 days in. As I mentioned, The Undertaker was today's announcement. Yesterday, they announced William Shatner for the Hunt Valley show this summer. So I'm legitimately thinking to myself, that could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, I was never a Star Trek guy.
Me either.
Yeah, but if you look at it, like he was in classic episodes like The Twilight Zone. He was in Dodgeball. He's been in some funny shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wonder to myself, is it worth going and getting something that isn't Star Trek related?
You could also have him sign a Michael Myers mask.
They did, by the way, they did totally have that on the website when they made the announcement that he was the inspiration for the Michael Myers mask.
It was the original mold, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, what they did is they took a Captain Kirk mask and just painted it white.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. So, this summer, look, between that and, we've been talking about Steel City Con at the end of March in Pittsburgh. That one's a possibility with all the people that they've added recently. I'd like to try to get to the South and hit maybe, a Galaxy Con in Raleigh. Once they start announcing, maybe take this show on the road. What we should do, is honestly just record if we go to one of these cons together, Pittsburgh or either Pittsburgh or if we go to Raleigh or something like that, we really should probably record the our conversations in the car and just upload that as a pod.
I don't know. I don't know. You see what happened to Jay Briscoe. They kind of didn't let him do anything after his comments. Ours can be a little worse sometime, I think.
Well, look, the one thing between him and us is I don't have to upload it,
Yeah, true.
and I can highly edit them before they go up.
There you go. There you go.
Nothing incriminating. But although we could, look, we could do the show. We could do an entire hour just with the full intent of doing the show from the car. It would be funny.
Yeah, I mean,
We could live stream from the car.
I mean, I think I laughed so hard on the way to MonsterCon that I almost passed out.
That's true. We were funny. Although I don't think we could talk about half of the things we talked about in that car ride.
No.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I swear, man, it's been 2 weeks since we've done this, and it feels like 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
With so much going on. Have you hit any toy places? Any big? I know you were going to go a couple of weeks ago. We were talking. You were hitting me up trying to go to that little town in Maryland. Did you make it out there?
Yeah. I got a video up. I hit two. I hit antique store and a bookstore. They had a lot of stuff. That's my last video. I haven't done one this week. Kind of busy, and next week probably not either. But yeah, that one's up for your viewing pleasure. So check it out. Somebody needs to, because there's only like 30 watches on there, I think, and it's pretty pathetic. But it's actually one of the better ones, I think, because there's so much in those antique stores that people would like vintage toy wise. So I even picked up a few of the little old Hasbro WWF figures that I found there. So that was what I got out of that whole day. It was a good day. It was a good day.
I figured you would go in there looking for vintage 1970s porn.
No, thanks. I'm not into the bush.
What's funny is with the sweatshirt that you're wearing, right?
Yeah. What's that?
With the sweatshirt you're wearing, when you lean forward, you literally look like the Kool-Aid Man. I just want to go, oh yeah!
Oh, nice. No, $29.99 on sale at Kohl's. I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, I can't. It's just like when you lean forward, it looks like eyes, and that's all I can think of. Hey, Kool-Aid! Oh yeah!
Yeah. There you go.
So fresh, so clean.
I can see your little clavicle there. Pull yours back a little bit. Come on, man. We gotta be respectable on here.
So I'm rocking my new Terrifier 2 sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Yes, the Terror Threads had their new line drop for Terrifier 2.
Speaking of which,
yeah, Arthur. Ooh, Frederick. The priest. All right, your favorite. Jason,
and then back to my favorite.
And back to Arthur.
Yeah.
So that's a nice find. Was that you were saying that was Amazon, right?
Yeah, Amazon.
No, I might have to partake. You might have to send me the link to that.
T3 wants to know how many hoodies I have. Well, being though I'm above my garage in this cold room with a little space heater on, I got about 1,000 hoodies, to be honest. So.
Yeah,
I have.
I'm in the room.
Hoodies
I'm in the
room.
room.
Seattle Seahawks hats. He's a Seahawks fan.
No. Who hurt you? Damn. That's a whole nother show, though. We get talking about sports. That's a whole nother show.
Mm-hmm. Our Eagles going to the
Sunday NFC Championship. I'm a little nervous about it, quite honestly.
Not me.
I am. I'm a little nervous about it. Look, while I think the rookie is due for a fall flat on your face game, and our defense is good enough to do that, they are so inconsistent at times. So,
I'm
but
not.
I don't want to get too deep into sports
You know
talk.
why I don't worry about it? Because I ain't losing shit over it. If they lose, they lose. It is what it is.
How dare you?
Fuck it. Who cares? I don't get that crazy about it anymore. I really don't.
How dare you?
You're gonna lose your shit, but I'm not.
Well, I'll be at the game, so
Yeah,
yeah, I'll
you're
lose my
losing
shit.
your
I'll
shit
be
there.
candidly, I'll be several beers in by kickoff, and by several, I mean like 4.
Yeah, I was watching you on them pictures. I saw them pictures of you with the Mad Elf beer.
Yes.
Not only is that one of the worst beers I've ever tasted, but it's really high alcohol content. How did you make it home? Hmm. Were you
I
drunk? No,
no.
I'm not saying driving wise. I'm saying like, how did you not pass out during the game?
Oh no, it's fine.
They're like
And I only have 2
10%.
beers. When I drive and tailgate, I only have 2 beers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we were doing the Mad Elf. And then this weekend, I have Ship Bottom Brewery, their holiday coconut ale.
Hmm.
It's very good. I have a case of it in the fridge in the garage. They're gonna do that with a shot of coconut moonshine in the beer, which just makes it even more delicious.
Hmm.
T3 saying Niners by 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I really wouldn't. It is what it is. Like I said, it is what it is.
Right.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think we got it, but I don't. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. It is what I used to, and I won't. I just won't anymore.
So the other big news that went
Mhm.
on recently, and you kind of referenced it a little bit, was the passing of Jay Briscoe from Ring of Honor. For those of you that may or may not know the story, he and his wife were killed in a head-on collision in Laurel, Delaware.
His wife wasn't in the car. His wife's alive.
I thought his wife was in the car.
No,
They said his wife died.
No, he died, and then his 2 daughters, are in the hospital in critical.
Yeah, they said that the one's going to walk again now.
Yeah, the wife is fine. She's home. She
I thought it was. I
thought
thought
afterwards.
maybe it was the passenger of the other car that died. Then
Mm-hmm. There was a lady who was driving the other Silverado who crossed the lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes that story so. I mean, it's still sad, but it's a lot less sad now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Laurel, Delaware, which, by the way, Joe and I both grew up in Delaware. Laurel, Delaware, from where we grew up, is probably like an hour south of us.
The road that they were on, I traveled many times going to the beach house that I had down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits even more home because I'm looking at him on my other computer now. It's like
Naked photos.
He's entertained me for a long time now. He's entertained me for a long time, and since he's from Delaware, it just was really close to home.
Yeah, look, when you're from Delaware, you don't have a lot of famous people to look at.
Yeah, so when something like this happens,
yeah, you got Jay Briscoe, you got Aubrey Plaza, George Thorogood.
That's about the extent of it. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that was tonight or tomorrow night they're doing another tribute show on AEW. AEW. Oh, God.
Do you think he's doing that because he wants to do it, or do you think he's doing that because of the backlash he's heard the past week for just flashing a picture on last week?
Well, look, I think that what I read, and look, I don't have any inside information on AEW, nor would I care if I did, but what I read is it was all Warner Media who didn't want to do anything surrounding him because of the comments he made years ago.
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, years ago.
And he apologized a million times. I mean, come on.
Look,
stop being so pussified. Come on.
Well, look, when you're young, you make mistakes, and Michael Vick killed how many dogs? He still got to play football.
Yeah. Whatever happened to give him a second chance? It counts for some people, not others. I don't understand where that whole dynamic.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, I think that there are things that are forgivable, but we live in a world where, it's now strike one and you're out
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of instances, especially when you come to quote unquote insensitive comments, such as, what Jay had said. And I won't repeat it here, but, do a quick Google search. It'll come up. They're still out there, even, and they've been brought back into the media with him passing away. But, I think, and you're right, depends on what your politics are. And I certainly don't want to turn this into a political discussion. Joe and I often promise that we don't ever talk politics to each other because we'd like to remain friends after, the 40 years we've been here. So I think at the end of the day, I think he got a lot of backlash with the way they did it. But I think with the fact that Warner came off not looking as great as they could have because of the way it was handled, I think they kind of relented a bit and said, all right, let's do something. And I think Mark Briscoe, I saw, was on the card tomorrow night.
Oh, they're going to let him on AEW TV?
Well, I think that's the only way it was ever going to happen. It's a shame it had to come to that. The guy's incredibly talented, but whatever.
But that's the way most things happen. Nobody appreciates you when you're living. It's always when you die that they say, oh, what a great man. I wish I would have got together with that person or he or she more before they passed. It's always like that. It sucks.
No.
But it's always like that.
No, you're right.
Tell somebody you love them when they're alive. Tell them how much they mean to you when they're alive. Don't wait until they're dead and then say, I should have.
This soap opera brought to you by Joe.
Yeah.
No, I get it. No, and I agree. Yeah. You should never miss an opportunity to tell somebody like that. But look, I don't want to get touchy feely. That's kind of not what we're about here. So one of the other things I've been doing recently is going back and watching old 80s television shows.
They're the best.
You are not wrong, because look, we are on record as saying that Joe and I grew up in the greatest decade ever, the 80s. And anybody that doesn't agree, Joe said he'll fight you out in the parking lot.
Maybe 15 years ago, not now.
Now you sound like Kurt Angle last night. Nope.
Nope, not me. Nope.
So thinking back on that, like, what were your top 5 shows in the 80s? Like, what were your go-tos? Yes, best intros ever too. Best theme music, best all that. Agreed. Wholeheartedly.
Well, I gotta throw in TV shows, and I love them. There's so many. I mean, Who's the Boss?
Okay.
I like Growing Pains. Cheers.
Yep.
Shit. I mean, let me see. Night Court was great.
The reboot of that is pretty funny.
I didn't even know they had one. Like I tell these guys every week on our other show and in private conversations, I don't have that many fucking hours in the day to sit there. I can't sit still that long. Silver Spoons, I was going to say too. But not only like all the music for these songs, I mean, for these shows, a lot of them were done by Alan Thicke.
Yeah.
So, but I knew a lot of these songs. I still do. And I won't sing them for you here. I'll sing them for you on Saturday if you need. But
oh my God.
Different Strokes. I know that was predominantly 70s, but they did run over to the 80s. Facts of Life.
It's an 80s show.
Facts of Life. Different fucking Strokes.
Lord, I asked you for 5. You're doing like 15.
Yeah, I could give you a million of them, man. I mean, I talk about this all the time with a guy from work, and I can't believe he's not seen any of these shows because he's a younger guy.
Okay.
I'm like,
Well,
you got cheated out of life, man. Like, you should have been alive in the 80s because we had the best of music, wrestling, sports, and TV shows and movies. All
all
of
right. So for me, you got to go Knight Rider.
them. I didn't ask you.
I don't give a shit. I co-host the show.
Proceed.
A Team, another really good one.
Remember the Greatest American Hero?
Yeah, that was on my list too.
Right.
That one was definitely on my list too. Um, you got to look at like Mr. Belvedere. By the way, one of the funniest stories ever, I'm going to tell a real quick story is, have you ever heard any stories about the guy that played Mr. Belvedere?
No.
Guy was a complete,
Maybe when you tell the story, I'll remember, but
yeah, apparently the guy was a complete asshole, right? Complete asshole. So there was a story about this guy and how he was really difficult to work with. Like it would take hours to shoot a 30-minute episode, and it would take twice as long because this guy was difficult. Yes, Alf is also on my list.
yeah, definitely.
So one day they're shooting this. It's like the second or third season, and literally he's being super difficult, right? And the guy gets real pissy, and he sits down really abruptly, but he does so in such a way that he sits on his balls, and he actually injures himself. To the point where they have to stop shooting for like a week because he like ruptured a testicle by sitting on them.
He was a bigger fellow. So,
He was a bigger gentleman. He was a gentleman of size. But whenever I hear whenever somebody talks about Mr. Belvedere, I literally think of that song, that story. And what's the guy that Bob Uecker, who was on that show, was telling that story years ago during the press junket for Major League. And he hated that guy. Absolutely wholeheartedly hated that dude. But by the way, my other on that, Cheers was definitely on my list. That, by the way, that is still a show that completely holds up.
You can watch it on Netflix in order, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've done that, and it's really cool to see them in order again, like they came out.
And it's even when they changed from Shelley Long to I call her Rebecca Howe, Christy Alley. Thank you. Even when they did that, yeah, I have to think to myself, like literally, the show didn't lose anything. But they added more to it with adding Frasier and things like that. But that's a show that still to this day,
when Shelley Long was leaving that show, a lot of people thought it was going to go under, but it actually got a little bit better. I mean, Shelley Long was good on it, but I guess since Kirstie Alley was on it for more years, it just seemed like it was just a smooth transition. But how about Married with Children? I forgot about that one.
Oh, such a good one.
Yeah. I'll never forget the one where he lost so much weight that his collar kind of looked like yours does now. Fuck that bitch up. Fucking nuts. Anyway, his collar kind of was dragging down, and you can see him losing weight, and all that. But yeah, so that was fucking hilarious. And Family Matters. That was
what about? I thought that was the 90s.
No, it says 80s, so it must have started like 88, 89. So that
what about Family Ties?
Family Ties with Michael J. Fox is right there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was huge back in the day. Wonder Years was another one.
Yeah.
I
mean, I could go on forever, like I said. And now that I'm looking at them,
it's one of those things when you start a conversation about shows of the 80s and you start going down memory lane a little bit with some of these shows and some of the things, like you literally, it takes you back to like, oh my God, like I was this age when that happened, or we were in that grade, or
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
80s too.
Yep.
Fucking amazing.
Oh, that show is
I love that show.
Amazing Stories was another one, by the way.
Yeah.
On NBC. Very similar. It was a little more science fiction-y.
Saved by the Bell. I don't think there's any that I did not like. To be honest, that's all I did back then was watch TV. Them 30-minute sitcoms were it back then.
Well, and look, they still hold up. Like I said, I mean,
Yeah.
they brought back Night Court. So let's talk about that for a minute because I watched the first 2 episodes. It just started last week, by the way. You can catch up on Peacock. It's on tonight. I don't know if they're doing 1 or 2 episodes tonight, though. But anyway, I digress. So the premise of the show is it's the girl that played Bernadette in Big Bang Theory, right?
Okay.
She plays Abby Stone.
I do like her.
She plays Abby Stone, who is the daughter of Judge Harry Stone, played by Harry Anderson from the original Night Court. Now, obviously, he passed away years and years ago, but they brought back Dan Larroquette as Dan Fielding. So he's in the show. Obviously, you can't have Marky Post. She just died.
Yeah.
That's
true.
But there's also talk of like Richard Mole coming back and things like that. So that would actually be pretty cool. And Charles Robinson, not the referee, the actor, he's still around. So, they could get him very simply. But look, it still holds up.
Did you say Unsolved Mysteries?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a great, by the way, Netflix brought it back. One of the
why
stories
they do that because they can't think of anything new. Magnum PI is a good one too. Like Tom Selleck, he's always been one of my favorites. So.
You just want to go for a mustache ride.
You better go find your wife in that house when this is over. You're worked up, pal. I'm not your type.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
All right. Let's see. And then again, all the cartoons too, like Thundercats and all that shit was, obviously the best. He-Man.
Yep. He-Man was another good one.
Yeah. I mean, like the movies too, movies and music. We should do the next show on all this stuff because
we can do a trip back to the 80s and do kind of some lists of give us like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Hey, if somebody said to you, out of all the shows you just named, you can have one show, what is it?
One show.
You can't watch any of those other ones. You have to pick one.
One show.
One show from the 80s. That's it.
Man, that is so
dirty of me, huh?
I'm going to be honest. A show that I literally, from the 80s, that I could watch and never get tired of, Quantum Leap.
Fair enough.
Quantum Leap. By the way, that literally is the most heartbreaking ending to any show. Was that graphic of Dr. Sam Beckett never made it home again. That crushed me.
Almost as sad as The Sopranos when that went off.
The end of that show sucked.
I was sad when it went off, dude. I was like, fuck, this is it. They're never going to put this back on.
And then they made a movie.
Yeah. So I guess for me, like if I had to pick one.
All right. So next episode, here's what we're gonna do.
Well, let me pick my one.
All right, pick your one. Nobody asked you, but you're just gonna interject anyway.
I'm the co-host. I do what I want.
Touche.
I'd probably have to go with Tales from the Crypt.
Oh,
just because, like, I love horror. Plus, it was something different every week.
Anthology series. That's why I feel about Quantum Leap.
Yeah,
it's a different story every week.
So I guess I would have to. It's a shame to drop all the other ones. If I had to, that one.
But if you got to pick one,
would keep me entertained for quite some time because it was on for a fair amount of years, if I remember correctly.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking for the next episode. I want to do this in 2 parts because I think you could spend a whole episode on it, but I don't think I want to. So we're going to do movies of the 80s. All right. Because we just did TV shows. So let's do movies of the 80s, right? But then after that, let's do TV shows that had the best and worst endings, in our opinion.
And then we could do another one with TV shows with the best and worst theme music.
Oh, I like that too. Because there's a lot of those in both. And I would love to hear your opinion on certain ones and see if I feel the same way.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a deal. So next episode, we'll follow up. We'll do a Royal Rumble recap. Obviously, we're going to talk about movies of the 80s, our favorite movies of the 80s. And then we're going to launch into TV shows that had the best or worst endings. And you got 5 of each, 5 of the best endings and 5 of the worst endings. Doesn't have to be just the 80s. Could be any TV show of all time. And you might feel that one has the best, like The Sopranos. I might feel like it has one of the worst because I do think it does. But
It's going to be
I
hard
would
for
love,
80s because most 80s shows just end it with thanks for watching and they all stood on stage.
and they
That's
never
how-
came back again.
and they never
just
came
stopped.
back. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be kind of
Good luck in the castle. All right. So that's 2 weeks from now. Oh God, I hope we remember. So that's going to be a really good episode. All right. So we got about 15 minutes left. You know what that means.
Is it
Are
time
you
for
feeling loosey goosey?
I think I do. Did
All right.
did you make my intro yet? Did I ask you to make?
No,
With the
I have no time for that.
make
We
time.
need to.
All out.
We will. Look, the production value on this show is very low.
Yeah.
We
no.
set the bar very low for our 2 viewers. To give them just enough to come back every week.
Our 2 viewers. Yeah.
So for those of you that are just tuning in, Joe likes to do a segment where he goes off for 15 minutes uninterrupted.
I don't know if it could be 15 minutes, but you can join in on this one if you like.
So this is usually you got to pay double in Vegas for things like this. All right. So what is tonight's topic for Loose Cannon?
Believe it or not, tonight's topic has nothing to do with the WWE. Did that surprise you?
I'm shocked. Legit.
Because normally it does. Normally they
Yep.
piss me off enough, like when McMahon came back or when Stephanie left or what have you. This week it's simply AEW. I'm just so sick. I still watch it, but I don't watch the whole thing.
Say
I
this.
turn it on and off to gauge what they're doing, and they're still doing the exact same thing. And like I said last time we were on, these 2 podcasters that I watch, one of them will tell the truth. It sucks. The other one will say that AEW was the best show they did in a long time. I don't know what they're looking for in pro wrestling. I really don't. I mean, if you want match, go to a bingo hall. There's no storyline. There's plenty of wrestling matches. I want the storyline. There's nothing. They don't put the guys who belong on TV. Like this week, Mark Briscoe will come on and he'll fight somebody random.
Jay Lethal.
I can't fucking stand Jay Lethal.
They were both honor guys.
Look at him, and without seeing that Macho Man persona he used to do, I can't watch it.
Black Machismo.
And like EC's asking me, why do I even put myself through it? I love wrestling. I want them to do better because I want the competition so the WWE will do better. So I keep going with false hope every week, thinking, all right, we're going to see Andrade. We're going to see. I mean, they brought back the House of Black, and we haven't seen them on Dynamite since. I think tomorrow Buddy Matthews is wrestling.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's fighting Darby Allin. Do you really think he would stand a chance against Buddy Matthews if he didn't want him to?
No.
It just doesn't make sense. There's no story there. There's no build-up to why he deserves a title shot. He hasn't been on TV or been around in months, and you just come back and get a title shot. But that's okay. But let Charlotte do it. It's the end of the freaking world. It's the same shit.
It's WWE, and she's Ric Flair's daughter. How could
it's the same shit, though. These people that are saying, why does she come back and get it? Why don't they say anything about Buddy Matthews has not been on TV at all. since the whole thing with Malachi Black possibly leaving but never did. So that's been
Look,
months.
I agree with EC here. I don't know why you still put yourself through it. I'm legitimately thinking we need to have an intervention for
I
you.
agree with EC. Me and him
So-
see eye on a lot of things, and I 100% don't know why I put myself through it.
So
Now,
coming
in
soon,
my defense, I don't watch the whole 2 hours. I can't. I'll have high blood pressure from listening to that jackass with the mask as the announcer. What's his name?
I don't know. Watch it.
You watch it. You told me.
Pizzeria Uno. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, the announcer with the mask on. I forget his name, but
Yeah,
he flies through everything. I mean, I have
yeah, I
a
don't know.
panic attack watching this guy. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well,
Mama's here. Thanks for joining, Cushy Mama.
who's your mama? Checking in. Welcome. So, I swear to God, Joe, that we are.
You're Catholic. Don't do that.
Well, look, I went to Catholic school. I did my time in prison. So I legitimately feel like we're going to have an intervention for you sometime very soon. I mean, we had this conversation about AEW in the car on the way to the last wrestling convention we went to back in October. Was it October? I don't remember.
I don't even know. But
It was
remember
last
those,
March. No, it was last March.
yeah, remember the wrestlers we saw going in, and we're like, "Who is that?" Because we couldn't even tell if it was.
They all got a title shot on AEW.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucking.
They all have title shots on AEW next week.
Yeah.
Look, I told you back then that this show legitimately is this guy having, like, when you were a kid and you had your fantasy wrestling league, this is what this guy does because he's a billionaire.
When I had my
He has a fantasy wrestling league that makes 0 sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you know he's been,
I watched it. I watched it every week when he was bringing back. He was bringing in WWE guys, right?
you're still watching it every week, you sheep.
Well, I don't watch the whole 2 hours, and I don't even know why I watched 10 minutes of it. But I
don't
just
either.
I want them to do better, because figure it, if they go out of business, then WWE is just going to go downhill even more because they have no competition. So
You're not wrong, but it's still painful. I don't know why you do this to yourself.
I don't know.
Like,
Well, if I did, then I would have nothing to go off on it about. And look at,
you'd have something. I've known you for 40 years. You'd have something.
No, because of my rant, Mandy's in the building. Cushy Mama's here because she came to hear the loose cannon. He said, she's not here for you, Scott. She's here for the loose cannon. So we got 3 people watching right now.
That's right. And they're riveted by the loose
They're
cannon.
all wanting to see the loose cannon. I'm just fucking.
They really are looking. They're waiting for you to run through a wall.
Oh yeah, watching AEW.
Yeah,
it's coming.
We're waiting for you to Kool-Aid man that wall behind you.
I don't even think Target is going to sell wrestling AEW figures anymore. I think they lost their contract with them, if I'm not mistaken. So even they won't do it, and I'm still doing it.
Wow. Look, you are.
And it's on tomorrow night, so you know where I'm going to be at 8 o'clock.
You're going to be watching that shit.
At least
I, on the other hand, will probably watch Chicago Fire or something.
I'll watch it till at least 8:10, and then I'll see Darby Allin come out on his fucking skateboard, and then I'll fall asleep. That's what happens.
What's the one group that Brody Lee used to be in charge of?
Oh, what the fuck are they?
The Dark Order.
The Dark Order. You don't even see them anymore.
Yeah, the Dork Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, EC, you're probably right. They probably gave the contract up because they knew it was a sinking ship.
Yeah.
I am on record. Look, I would love for a promotion to do it correctly. I would. And look, that was like one of the cool rumors that if Vince had come back, that Stephanie and Triple H were going to leave and start their own promotion. I would have been so in favor of that.
I would have loved that too. Yeah.
They would have done it correctly.
Like they could have bought ROH, but now you got this clown buying ROH.
Again, because he's got too much money.
Yeah. There is a thing of, your dad's giving you too much money, pal. You can't spend it all. Eventually, you're going to end up like WCW.
I told you that.
I don't know what Darby Allin's deal is. I mean, I don't get it. I don't even know why Sting is with him. He doesn't say 2 words. He just stands there and pats him on the back every week. That's it.
Well,
I was waiting for him to sickle him last week and get it over with. It's going to happen.
Maybe literally just has his hand up his back and he's using him as a puppet.
Well, I mean, it would make sense. That's why he's there then.
Well, then that's why they won't do it, because it makes sense, and
I'm a
nothing
real
nothing
boy.
Tony Khan does make sense.
I'm a real boy. It would be a storyline at least, wouldn't it?
Yeah, which they are incapable of. So and I'm not giving Tony Khan ideas.
Well, you can't have a
These are
storyline
problems.
when you got Daniel Bryan facing Bandito. What the fuck is a Bandito? What is that? What's a Bandito?
Isn't that a Mexican cowboy
I don't know, but why did it be? It's ridiculous.
or a Mexican bandit?
Where the fuck did he even
Isn't
come
he a
from?
luchador?
Don't say Mexico, because I know he's down there at Luchador Wrestling. I know, but
AAA or whatever.
why? Why are you on TV? You haven't done it. Why are you on TV?
I don't know.
I don't get it, man.
All right.
But
I'm gonna
tomorrow night at 8:00. I'll be there till 8:10.
I won't be texting you about it because I'm not watching it.
I'm gonna text you and say, "Hey, Scott, are you watching?"
And the question is gonna be, what do you think?
There are people that watch this and they think it's the best thing ever. I just don't get it.
I legitimately would rather watch paint dry.
I had an argument on Instagram with somebody. I didn't argue. I was just like, I gave him his opinion because we still let people do that sometimes. But
somebody argued with you on the internet, Joe?
Yeah, but I didn't argue back. I just let him go. He's like, I said, there's no storyline. And I said, name one. He said, MJF versus Daniel Bryan. I mean, Bryan Danielson, whatever. And I'm like, okay, if you feel good about that, there's your answer, and have a good day.
The closest they got to a storyline was MJF and CM Punk. And even then, I didn't even watch it. I only knew about it from listening to Cornette because he talked about it.
You might be watching this, and in the closet AEW watcher.
No, I have better things to do on my Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. I would rather watch reality television.
I do watch you know what I do on Wednesday night is I watch the first 10 minutes of the Dynamite, just enough time for the challenge on MTV to get started, and then me and my wife watch the challenge because I love that show. Now that's reality. And don't shake your head because you can't do half the shit they do on there. These guys are
fat, you dumbass.
Huh?
No, because I'm fat and I'm old.
I didn't say that.
I did.
Well, you are old.
I'm fat and I'm old.
You're pleasantly plump.
No, I'm robust, sir. Robust.
Then that's one reason why we did not go to Raw last night.
I couldn't fit in the chair.
Again. Yeah.
I couldn't shoehorn my fat ass in the chair.
Dude, last time when you got up to get that slice of pizza, ironically enough, the girls next to us, they looked at me. I was like, I could take a breath. Anyway, just a little.
Literally, when I got out of the chair, you heard this. Me shoehorning myself out of that chair.
It was like this.
Literally what I just said.
Yeah.
Was there an echo in here?
On this mouth.
All right. So I think at this point we've hit the wall. We're about 2 minutes before the end of the show. So once again, thank you all for tuning in on another Tuesday night of us just talking about dumb shit. For those of you that enjoyed, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Tune in 2 weeks when we talk about, 80 shows, best endings, worst endings. We'll recap Royal Rumble. Tune in to us with Dre on Saturday night for the Royal Rumble watch along. That'll be a lot of fun. We had some spirited debates at the last one, so I think this one will follow suit.
Yeah. I mean, I stand on the ground. This Sunday on Well That Effin' Figures, we have Nightmare Christie coming on the show at 7 p.m. Eastern. So
that is a show that if I'm home in time, I'm going to tune in.
Yeah. She co-owns Nightmare Toys in Las Vegas, and should be a really fun conversation. Can't wait.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
By the way, follow them on Facebook. Their store is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It is somewhere that is on my bucket list to visit the next time I get out to Vegas.
Me too.
So thank you again for tuning in. I'm Scott. This is Joe. This is Talking Nerdy. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.
We'll see you Saturday at the Royal Rumble. Don't watch AEW tomorrow.
No, don't do it.
10 minutes.
No.
Hey, cut it off.
I value my life.